Okay. So we had a little hiccup, and we lost the first few things we said. I apologize to everybody and to you too, Sommer. Every now and then this kind of thing happens, and mostly not. But we just want to recap what we just talked about as far as what is a sleep specialist and, the part you play in it.
Okay. A sleep specialist is actually a subspecialty where we, at the facility, do the diagnostic testing, the overnight testing that does consist of the various wires from brain activity to leg movement. And we monitor a person for 4 to 6 hours is the required amount of time to see if, in fact, there is an abnormality in sleep. And there's been over 80 different disorders classified now that we can test for.
Now, what would make a person feel the need to come to a sleep specialist? Is it just like one day you just like, I just can't sleep? I mean, something's going on. Does a doctor, like your family doctor, have to say, you need to go for this testing? How does one decide to come to you from the beginning?
Well, there's people like me, advocates in sleep medicine, that step out for public awareness, as well as physician educational programs for physicians that don't quite practice sleep medicine. Unfortunately, they get, I think, a whole 2 chapters within their whole 12-year.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, of sleep medicine. So in addition to testing, we also do training. And we go to individual physicians and kind of like help them identify what patients would qualify for testing, how to screen the patients better. So yes, the primary physicians can. Any facility, just say like a physical therapy facility, any discipline where there's an expected outcome in treatment or in therapy could screen for sleep, because it's not going to be effective if the quality of sleep's not there.
Yeah. Now, what about people like, I've always been a night owl. I mean, I just coast through like 2 hours here, hour, and it's never fazed me from early to now. So do you think I have a sleep disorder, or do you think I'm just a night owl? I mean, what is a night owl? I mean, that's what I call myself.
It's actually, that's going to be related to the circadian rhythm, our biological clock. And it's mostly common in shift workers that don't have a consistent sleep-wake schedule.
Right.
And they have that issue a lot. So long as you don't have daytime sleepiness, poor concentration, irritability, other symptoms throughout the day, then it's perfectly fine for someone to function, at a different rate than your typical 8-hour sleep, 9 to 5 type.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever slept 8 hours. I mean, like when I was working, go to bed a certain time every night, get up every morning, because it's like I just sleep when I need to sleep.
And that's exactly what's going to happen too. Then we call it the sleep debt.
Yeah, and then like now that I'm retired, I always said, sleep will come when I'm dead, because
that's outside the scope of our practice.
Right. Yeah. Sleep will come when I'm dead, But and then you have these disorders, like insomnia is when you can't sleep. I mean, what causes that other than, like you say, people that work, say, third shift, and they're used to working overnight, and then the next day staying up for so long before they go and to sleep again because they got to get up and do this again. Now, with regular people like me, and so would I have insomnia because of my sleep rhythms?
We wouldn't necessarily classify or diagnose insomnia until we did a more in-depth questionnaire consultation on a patient. Sometimes it's physiological, sometimes it's psychological, and then sometimes there's just social factors. Just say that there's, a new member in the house right now.
Right.
That type of thing. So, and if I can relate to the first classical form of treatment, was counting sheep.
Oh, yeah.
And it works. I had my kid count those new socks that come out, elite socks. I said, well, count elite socks, and it worked. 15 minutes. And what it does is just focus on repetition and number. Not so much what's going on in the other room or what's going on at work. And that's typically what causes insomnia.
Wow. Now, we had talked a little bit about sleep apnea and the effect it has on people. What do you find is is there like an age limit or age bracket that you see the most people with sleep apnea?
No.
It can be little kids.
And it can be babies, and they call it SIDS.
Oh. Well, I know what SIDS is.
Yes, and that's pretty much what it still consists of, an obstruction in the airway that's preventing the air from passing through. So it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter race, it doesn't matter gender. It's just a matter of who has the symptoms of the disorder and who's actually treated or tested so that it can be confirmed or ruled out. So
there's no certain cause, and then there's no like remedy other than the mask, or it's like not like they can say, well, I can give you a pill to get rid of sleep apnea.
No. And the little nose strips, for the record, when it's obstructive sleep apnea, no. Now for your common
nose strips,
yes.
I don't even know, do those things work?
For congestion, over the counter, for a typical common cold, yes. But for a person whose throat is collapsing 100 times during sleep, that strip is like a Band-Aid to a bigger problem.
That's what I'm thinking, because, it seemed like you put it right here.
Exactly. If you're going to put it somewhere.
Right.
Yes, and that's what the CPAP, the therapy for the apnea does, is serve as a splint to keep the airway open.
Now, you had brought our little third guest here, and he or she is wearing a mask. Now, what does this do for people, and what do you hook it to?
This actually is what's considered the full face mask, and it's more effective. They have different makes and models like cars that come out. It's more effective because it covers the nose and the mouth, and it doesn't allow the air to leak out. Just say if it was just covering the nose.
They breathe through their mouth. Right,
and the air could escape, making the therapy ineffective. And it hooks to, actually, this is where the hose would go into a unit that sits by the bed, a CPAP or a BiPAP unit.
Okay. So is that like oxygen?
It's actually, no, it's just air.
Oh.
Yep, it's just forced air. And the level of force depends on the level of severity.
So you're buying a tank of air.
Yeah. You're having, the machine that's going to push the air.
Right.
Yes.
So that's my little tank of air.
Yes, not oxygen though. Some patients do need oxygen in addition to, so there's different areas where we can connect it and bleed it through this mask.
Wow.
And make it somewhat of an air cocktail.
I guess. You be mixing, well, what happened if someone, it's like, what if you get too much of one or the other? Like you breathe, does that happen or what? Because when I see that, I just think of something crazy on my face and I'm getting nervous just looking at it. But do people mix too much oxygen with too much air, or does anything like that happen?
We've never had that happen, not with at our facility. Now, we have had some compliance and some tolerance issues. That's what it kind of sounds like, where people just can't stand something on their face, or they just can't sleep anywhere but in their own bed.
Yeah.
So there's different tolerance programs that we have, and different routines that we exercises that we have them go by, even just different masks that they can try at home, just having on their face while they're watching TV or washing dishes, or just to try and get used to having it, along with the fact of the dangers that are associated. If it's untreated, sometimes that kind of snaps people into compliance, knowing that they may not wake up.
Well, some people that are just like old-fashioned remedies, and they don't want to do that, and they will fight it to the end of putting that. It's like, no, I'll wake up, don't worry about it. How do you treat those people? It's like pulling teeth to say, look, this is what you need. We know you have apnea. You want to call it something else, and that's not what it is.
We're patient and professional, and we continue to educate them on the importance of a good night's sleep. And we'll even sometimes double team them with their primary or their spouse or someone else that may have an influence over them, so that they can understand the importance of it.
Now, what about narcolepsy? Whenever I see that, it's like, in a comedy movie. You know, I don't know if anybody that, you know, in real life has had narcolepsy. What is it, and like, how do you get it? How do you treat it?
Narcolepsy is opposite insomnia. It's where they just cannot control. It's the inability to stay awake. There's medication that's being used now that's just going to increase alertness, say like Nuvigil or Provigil. Those are the number one therapy for it, and all it is just keeping the person alert, keeping them awake. Usually it's associated with another sleep disorder, say like sleep apnea. At the facility, when we're testing for narcolepsy, they come in the night before. Only they have to stay for a daytime study as well.
Right.
And there's 4 naps involved. Now, within those 4 naps, there are 20-minute naps, and they're 2 hours apart. Between those 2 hours, this person should not go to sleep, and during that nap, they should not hit what we call REM sleep.
So what if I can't fall asleep in 20 minutes?
That's good.
Oh,
That's good. As far as, you know, during the day for the naps, yes, but you have some people that have that excessive daytime sleepiness. Soon as their head hits the pillow, it can be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're going to go into sleep, and then they're going to go into deep sleep, into REM sleep, and it's that REM percentage and those REM numbers that we look for in narcoleptic patients. If we see that, then there's additional blood work that's done, different antigens that...
Blood?
Yeah. It gets deep as far as classifying that particular disorder. Yes.
Blood work. I don't even want to think of needles.
Very seldom will we have to order it like that.
Now, you're saying a person can have narcolepsy and apnea at the same time?
Yes.
Now, that must be a mess.
Yes.
Should I sleep? Should I not sleep?
Actually,
Should I not sleep?
They're just tired all the time. And one thing we try and do is get to the root of the more life-threatening disorder, which is the obstruction in the airway.
Right.
So we address that. And if we can get them at a pressure that they can tolerate, that's eliminating the apnea, a lot of times the daytime sleepiness will react. Just say if they have limb movement, people that kick and twitch all night. Yeah. Sometimes that's associated with apnea. So if we can get the apnea under control, then a lot of times the movement will stop. The daytime sleepiness will subside. And yeah.
So now you think a person with narcolepsy should drive?
If they know it's narcolepsy and it's not treated, no.
So you can drive with it if it's treated?
If it's treated.
Now, treatment would be, aside from taking a nap or not taking a nap, would be what?
The medication. Yes.
Blood work and medication.
Well, the blood work is confirming, yes, that it is that. But even sleep apnea, they say a drowsy driver is worse than a drunk driver. Because at least a drunk driver will try to swerve.
Right.
To where a drowsy driver's out. Yes.
They show some of those on YouTube where the lady was just asleep and driving down the highway. Everybody rolled up beside her trying to wake her up, and she was just laid out. Like driving. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's another disorder, parasomniacs, where we do awake things during sleep. Track stars, kids jump up running down the highway. Yes.
Now, there was another thing. What about the night eats and night, you know, where people, they're sleepwalking? Is it really called sleepwalking? I mean,
yes.
How does that happen? Because I know when I was, back in the 80s, and I lived in Jackson, one of the girls that worked with me fell down her basement steps because she was sleepwalking and like messed her neck and everything up. And I had never seen anybody for real do it. I mean, I'd heard it and I'd seen it on TV, and when you see it on TV, it's usually like in a comedy, you know, so you just laugh about it, but it's really dangerous.
It is. It's not a laughing matter.
Now, what kind of disorder would cause someone to like just get up in the middle of the night, just be eating everything in the refrigerator and, you know, doing stuff and not even remember it?
Well, there's parasomniacs. And that's, you know, the ones that do the awake things during sleep. And then there's nocturnal eating disorder in itself.
Wow.
I forget the name of the famous lady that died on the ham sandwich. She choked on the ham sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, that's, wasn't that Janis Joplin? John. Wasn't that Janis Joplin that died from the, oh, no.
Choked on
one of the,
Mamas and Papas.
Mama Cass.
Yeah, Mama Cass Elliott. That's who it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
and she had that
nocturnal eating disorder.
Wow. I'm learning a lot today. I better go home and take a nap. Maybe not.
Now, power naps, those are good.
I take those through the day because I just figure when I get tired, I'm retired. I can do what I want to do. I don't even care. I might go home and take a nap. Now, if someone found out that they have, a disorder, does insurance cover all this stuff? I mean, what are people doing that don't have insurance and they find out that they have this kind of thing?
Well, one of the advantages of utilizing Michigan Sleep Specialists is that we do cater to or underinsured. Mm-hmm. There are different state programs because sleep apnea is a disability.
Oh, okay.
It is. And individuals who suffer from it and are diagnosed are protected by the Americans with Disability Act.
Wow. ADA.
So, yes.
So they could actually, they could use that and say, well, I can't work because I can't sleep. I'm always too tired to go to work, and they'll be covered under ADA.
We have had jobs protected, right, in that sense, to where just say a person was always late,
right,
and that's why, and they're in the process of trying to get their pressure set and stabilized and their therapy working, so ADA would protect their employment while they were tested and treated for their disorder.
Now with sleep apnea, a lot of times, from what I've seen, a lot of the people are obese or Is that one of the things that causes it, or do you find more of the patients are obese? We
find that apnea is present in a lot of obese patients, but I don't want to stereotype because there's central sleep apnea, to where you can have a 90-pound 16-year-old who stops breathing, and it's because their brain forgot to tell them because of a closed head injury that damaged the brainstem.
Oh, okay. So other things can effectively cause it. And it could be like car accidents or, like you said, closed head injuries and stuff like that. Okay, because I thought it was mostly just having trouble breathing, and it's always right here that they have the problem. I didn't know what could cause it. And all the people that I know that had problems like that were overweight, so it's not stereotype, but that's all I knew.
Right. And that is for obstructive sleep apnea, yes. Yeah. That's very common. But for central sleep apnea, it's not.
So it's different kinds.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's still the same treatment and the same diagnosis criteria we have to go by.
Right. Now, what kind of studies is a sleep specialist? What do you have to study to, become a sleep specialist?
Polysomnography.
I see it right here. I know.
Polysomnography.
I got it written down, and I was going to say, what is this? You got to say this.
Yes.
Polysomnography.
Yes.
That's sleep what?
Multiple sleep cycles. It's the study of multiple sleep cycles.
So what would make you want to do that?
Actually, my mother was the first black woman to own and operate a sleep center back in 1989. That was during the time when society was not quite ready. Not saying that we're completely ready now, but at the same time, it was a motivator in the sense that I started my own, in essence, of my mother in 2007. It was when I think I helped heal my own patients, or that I seen it in my own children.
So now your children have sleeping problems?
My son did. He had his tonsils out, and we did a post-surgical, and it removed the apnea. It was eliminated. So I guess there was a personal motivator that pretty much got me involved in it. And once I seen the effects and how the lives of people had improved, just through a good night's sleep. Something as simple as that. Something we all need.
Exactly. Especially these days. I mean, everybody's stressed to hell.
Exactly.
It's like you can't get enough sleep.
Exactly. In every discipline, it can complement any discipline. I work with holistic therapists. It can complement. I'm kind of like Little Miss in between there because I'm on the medical side, but then again, it's the holistic side too. Because if we can control for some disorders, we can eliminate others. Right.
And how long does it take you to become a polysomnographic technology? technologist.
There's different training programs depending on where you go. Mm-hmm. We stay close with the Academy of Sleep Medicine, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. There are 2-week programs that people can take, and then there's 2-year programs that people can take.
So I could actually train in 2 weeks?
Yes.
And learn to do what you do?
Not what I do in particular, but you could conduct the testing on the patients.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You would know how to do the international hookup and hook all the wires up to them and tuck them in and monitor them throughout the night and know from looking at a screen if they're not breathing, if they're having irregularity in their heart rates and things like that.
Oh, okay. Because, when I go in for my physical, and they always do the EEG or EKG, whatever, your heart, they put all these stickums on you. Those things hurt when they come out. They didn't used to be so sticky. Now they just be like, rip, rip. It's like, oh my God.
We have different products that we use, and we try and consider the fact
rip
that this is
hair
a different
right
type
off.
of test.
Woo.
Yes.
I told a girl, you ripping my tats off. What?
Uh-oh.
You about to get in trouble now. But yeah, I just wondered about what would make a person study sleep. And I know I saw that you're on Miller Road, right?
We're on Beecher Road.
On Beecher.
Yes.
Wasn't there one on Miller before?
They're popping up like Dollar Generals, to be honest.
Oh, because I remember seeing a Michigan sleep specialist somewhere, and I didn't know where it was, so I thought that was probably yours. But I guess everybody's getting into them now because everybody need a good rest.
Yes, and unfortunately, it is kind of flooding the market in the sense that uncertified or what we call fly-by-night labs. So I guess it's going to heat up in the pit right now. But it's just a matter of them learning that they can conduct the service.
Right.
Not saying that they're certified.
And doing it right. Like I say, 2 weeks training. Come on in.
Right.
Is there some kind of government oversight on regulations like that?
Yes, and that was exactly what I was going to get to, is the fact that Medicare, Medicaid, all the major insurance companies are cracking down on who's certified now to do these, to conduct them, to bill for them. Yeah. Which is why I have to keep a certified sleep specialist on staff with me as well. Yes. Yeah,
because, you find all kind of craziness, like you said, Dollar General's popping up, and you go in there and like, okay, don't go down there because they charge more.
Right.
And then you come over here and you don't get a good service, and then they wonder why.
Yeah.
That's saying.
We're having that. We'll have patients that have been coming to us for years, and they'll say, well, now I have to go to Sleep Center B because my doctor said so. Sleep Center B used to be a storage closet.
Right.
That turned into bed 1. And unfortunately, we'll see them again, and then we'll have to clean up and soften the blow of the bad taste that might have got, put in their mouth there. So.
And they can, it only take one of them to make all y'all look bad or have people question.
Yes.
Because you're certified, you're doing it the right way. And then you got 5 over here that's half-ass doing it. And now they got to come back and drag their tail back to you and be like, well, see, you told me.
We have seen them come and go for the most part. Now, the fact that I am currently the only independent that's not physician-owned and not hospital affiliated here in the area, it does set us aside, but it makes us work harder in who we put in these beds.
Right.
They're not consults we're seeing on a day-to-day, and now we're stocking our beds with them. This is all we do.
Right.
Is focused just on people that need those sleep tests.
So do you think the other ones now, with it, if they're not certified, I mean, I don't even understand how they can like open their doors. Do they just like have to do just so much to get to that point where they can operate like legally, and then the rest is?
Well, now that the government has gotten involved, a lot of the labs are shutting down. And a lot of the physicians that were, say, primary, who chose to dabble in sleep, no longer dabble.
Oh, okay. Because they're not getting paid anymore.
And you're right, the claims are getting denied. Audits are going left and right. I had spoke with a representative of a very large insurance company, and they went from just say 400 to 400,000 to billions that they paid out in sleep over a certain period of time, which raised the red flag to these insurance companies.
Yeah.
everybody's billing in sleep now, and they want to know why. We've been billing since '89. You know,
Right.
my mother billed, and then I came with my own. So, like I say, we just kind of sit and see what happens.
Wow. You know, everything's a racket. We were just talking about insurance companies and stuff because it's like one of them things you have to have, and they know you have to have it, and they will jack you coming and going.
Yes.
And now with stuff like this, it takes away from the people that are actually trying to do the right thing.
Trying to do it. That's true. They didn't have guidelines, just say one of our more major insurance companies, until March 2011.
Wow.
No guideline as to what a provider should look for for testing, for medical necessity. So prior to that, just think of all the providers that were, say, maybe trying to do it right, but got shut down because this criteria was absent. So their claims were being processed as they come.
Wow. It's a racket, I tell you. Everybody's doing it. I don't think I want to do sleep work though. I don't want to have to go in there and start poking holes in people. They say, okay, let's draw your blood. I'll be like, no.
We don't do the drawing there. No, we don't do it there. We don't break the skin.
Now, how big is the facility that you'd have beds? I mean, how many people do you put in at a time?
We have a 4-bed facility in Flint and a 2-bed facility in Southfield.
So you only need that, like, so that means you do like, how many people a day can do a sleep test?
The capacity could be 4 or 6 total for the company.
So one person per bed.
Yes, with the 2-to-1 ratio. We have had some instances we had to break these targets up, but yes. For the most part.
Well, I didn't know it could be a king size bed. You know, you stay on your side, you stay on my side, put the pillow in the middle.
We do have queen size beds.
Well, you know, maybe. I don't know.
We have had some instances where one was tested and the other
they just
wanted to be there.
Yeah, well, I just want to come and hold your hand.
Yeah, so until the lights out, we let them hang out. But when the lights out, they had
everybody got to go.
Everybody out, but whoever's in wires.
That's too funny. I'm going to have to come over just to see what it looks like because can I do that? Can I just come and look?
Yes.
I don't want to watch them while they sleep. You know, that might be kind of creepy to them, but I just want to see what it looked like because when I think of sleep, it's like, so why couldn't you have like twin beds and get twice as many people?
Well, there's HIPAA violations.
Oh, okay.
So,
there you go.
There's another government guideline.
Right. No bunk beds. Stack them up.
Yeah, exactly. So it is set up in compliance with the academy.
Well, there you go. Now, if I go to one of them others and I see bunk beds and stuff like that, I'd be like, hold up. What are we doing in here?
Exactly.
They bringing the whole family in, neighbors, everybody. That would just be too funny.
Yeah.
No heart-shaped beds or anything, right?
No heart-shaped beds, no spinning beds.
No coin machines on the side of them.
No jacuzzis in the same room. Gee, that's kind of boring.
Well, it could save lives, though.
Well, she's doing it the right way. That's why they don't have all that stuff.
When people are bored, they're more likely to go to sleep, and that's what they want.
That's what they want, to go to sleep. Yeah. If you have too many gadgets in there, they just be like wandering, eyes roaming around, looking at things, and you be like, go to sleep.
Defeat the purpose.
Right. I just don't know if I could go, if you say it's nighttime now, you got to be sleeping 20 minutes. I just don't know. I think I'd be too anxious or something, and I'd be like trying to go to sleep. I'd be tossing and turning so much, and they'd be like, what? How long we gonna be in here waiting for you to go to sleep?
It's a first night effect. A lot of times we got a name for it.
What?
First night effect. Yep. Because patients do that because they're not used to the environment.
Yeah, I mean,
so we won't charge them twice. We'll just let them mess up the bed and come back.
Go in there and can't go to sleep. Okay, you're going to have to come back when you're tired.
Yeah, well, now you know what we are, who we are. You know, you know us a little better.
Go home and practice sleeping in 20 minutes. I just don't know. It just seems strange, but I guess it works. If people can, if you're tired enough, you will go in and go to sleep.
And most times people don't know when they fell asleep. That's where we come in.
I do that on the sofa a lot. I'll be watching TV. The next thing I know, it'll be like 20, 30 minutes later. I'm like, what happened? I missed it. I was watching something. I missed it.
Exactly.
Oh.
And that's where we step in and we tell you how many times you stop breathing, if you stop breathing during that time.
So somebody's on the other side, like over there, watching me in here toss and turn. Yes. Or are you in the same room?
No, we're in a monitoring room, kind of like he is.
With gadgets and stuff.
The cameras. So we can see and monitor what's going on internally with them through the wires and stuff we hook up, and then we have the cameras. So if they do get up and try and take off walking, then we're trained to stop them. Yes.
If they wake up like, oh, I gotta go get a snack.
Yes. And we have snacks, actually. Our lab is understanding.
That's just in case the night people want to get up and walk in their sleep, like in that show, Step Brothers, where they stop eating it, throwing everything around, putting the woman's purse in the stove.
Yeah, and they actually mandated that too. And, that we have the cameras for that very reason. Yeah.
I think it would be hilarious. John, you want to do it? We could put that up on the show.
I always often wonder what I did when I was asleep, because it's like, I've never had, I never woke up in bizarre positions, but I mean, I woke up in odd positions, like,
at the foot of the bed,
tucked by the wall or something like that. How the hell did I get in this position? What was I thinking?
Yeah, we can help you with that.
She could tell you exactly. Then you'd be like, oh my goodness. Well, I have had a very interesting show today, and this is something that now I know there's different sleep apneas, and I know there's a couple new words, and, narcolepsy. We always wondered if my dad had narcolepsy, because I know he would sit at home and then he would just nod out, drive my mother crazy. And then later in life, I started seeing things about narcolepsy, and I said, I wonder if he had. Can you have it just a little bit and then grow out of it?
Typically, it doesn't happen like that. Yeah, and
maybe he was just tired all the time.
That could be it.
One time on Frasier, his brother had what they call a stress-induced form of narcolepsy. That when he was going through stress, he just nod off. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
No, stress-induced?
He's stress-induced. That's what I mean. So I was wondering, because when he's going through, the character Niles is going through his divorce, he was and his wife was really, she's the one that had the power and the money, so. And he's
I know when he was stress-induced.
And he'd go to sleep when he was going through that in his head. To deal with the pressure, he just basically checked out once he started sleeping.
Huh.
And that's what they said. I said, I don't know if that's an accurate depiction of narcolepsy, because I've known people who had true narcolepsy.
Yeah,
the guy used to live next door to the studio had narcolepsy, actually.
Wow.
Right here, yeah.
Somebody induced it.
Yeah, I got to look at that.
Oh, snap. That could be a new thing.
It could be, yeah. And now we have to read between the lines and see who's telling the truth.
Right,
or just trying to get through the board.
Stress will induce divorces. But anyways, I want to thank you for coming in today, taking your time to come in and share this information with us, because it's really quite interesting. We're laughing and joking around about it, but it really is quite interesting to know, some of the disorders and how people are checked for them and what you have to go through to actually get checked, because I never knew. I just knew of them, but I never knew, all this other stuff behind it. And so it's good to talk to a person that's actually in that field. And see, Facebook bring me all kind of people.
See, it's great.
So I want to thank you for coming in today. We're going to wrap the show up today. If you have any contact information or anything you'd like to say to everyone, you're welcome to do that now.
Okay. If you are having symptoms of a disorder, the top symptoms are daytime sleepiness, snoring, irritability. You can please give us a call at 810-733-8338. At Michigan Sleep Specialist, we're doing our best so you can rest.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Sommer. And just so everybody know, I know we missed a little bit. This is Sommer Green from Michigan Sleep Specialist. So with that, it's Flaminpit, and we're out.
Thank you.